guys, welcome back again to the channel. We are doing a 3-part series on Biodun Stephen's movies, and the first part, which we did in our last video, was the movie I Choose Me. So today we're going to be discussing movie written and directed by Biodun Stephen, Joba. This movie stars Blossom Chukwujeku, Enado Odige, the beautiful Enado Odige, and our wonderful and phenomenal Roke Oshodi.
Yeah.
Also stars Biodun Stephen herself.
Yes, so Joba. Joba is a faith-based movie.
I have some issues to settle with God.
We had an agreement. He promised me that I was going to be blessed in the womb on the day of our wedding.
Vivian! What did I do you?
I'm done with this conversation.
Oriofe, remember who you are.
Tell me, how are you not the enemy within?
Enemies within! In the shape of a husband! In the shape of a husband!
Not the usual or the regular Nollywood romance movie. It's a faith-based movie that discusses love, redemption, infertility, mental health, trauma, and determination.
As well as romance.
Yes.
And love.
Yes, I already mentioned love.
You did?
Oh yes, I did.
Oh wow.
You really love love.
I really love love. So the themes of the movies are basically talking about faith, because it's actually a faith-based movie. The couple, they are very faith-based, they're very religious. I wouldn't really use religious because religious can have like a bad...
And you can put them in a box.
Exactly. But there seem to be a couple who love God. They did everything right.
To please God,
They did
everything right. They had integrity.
Yes. They were religious. Well, I keep using that word.
They were godly.
Godly, yes,
Yes.
God-fearing couple.
Because if you could remember, the first thing, he visited the lady's house, where he proposed to her. And that was after he has prayed and heard from God. You know, when you hear from God before you choose your life partner, you believe that everything is supposed to go smoothly, because you didn't act according to your will. You didn't do everything. Everything carnally. You did it spiritually. And at the end of the day, all you got was trauma over trauma. Imagine waiting before you waited to the night of your wedding before you consummated your marriage, and at the end of the day, you were faced with infertility, every other trauma that had to follow it.
So the plot of the movie is about a young couple who believed in God for how their life should go, which is
The right thing.
Which is a good thing, which is the right
Yes.
thing. Initially, they had a miscarriage, and where she was like, God promised me. And then, we are waiting on God's promises, and then God took away the baby. And soon after that, she developed secondary infertility.
And 6 years after, she became a shadow of herself. These things, what really thrilled me in the movie is, in most Nigerian movies that we've seen, it's usually the man that is always, edgy, wants a child by fire, by force, by all means. But this time around, the man was patient. He was so patient that at some point, with the kind of dream, coupled with the dream that the woman was having, it now looked as if the man had a hand in her or was not bothered about them not having a child. But it was just love, because he believed, since God is involved in our marriage, in our lives, God should just do His will, let the will of God be done. And for me, that means there was actual love, there was real love, because it takes a man who loves his partner genuinely to be patient with her in face of trouble. And
another part that I really liked was the fact that he didn't really want to hurt his wife. Just imagine the scene. He was so supportive, and it's very rare to find men that are that supportive. We have them, but it's very rare. He was supportive to the extent that if she wanted IVF, they had IVF, and it didn't work. And when things are not going around and they're not going to implant for you, and they couldn't afford it, but he made that sacrifice for his wife. And another part was when they were praying, the scene where the pastor, the mother were praying, and then immediately he saw them praying. He came back from work, and then he joined them, and all of a sudden they went, any evil in the form of your husband.
Yes,
hey,
I think
God.
I totally get that. So that is where communication should come into place. Because if you are having a dream and you know you run a family where you tell yourself everything, I think he ought to have told his wife about the dream.
Because as soon as she has the dream,
she told him. Because that means she held nothing to herself, and the only thing that he ever held to himself was the dream. Ori did not hide anything from her husband. So she was really appalled, she was sad, and no matter who you must have told the dream to, they will definitely tell you that, oh, your husband is not worried, he's not bothered about you not having a child, and he's been having that dream, he never told you. And you have the dream where your husband is literally taking your child away from you. So if you want, if I want to translate or interpret the dream carnally, I would be so sure that the man had a hand in it. So I do not necessarily blame her for doing that, because she was already pestered, she was already tired of the infertility.
Well, I love the fact that regardless of it all, he didn't take it to heart and he forgave her. And then on her 6th anniversary, he decided to surprise her. They went to the resort.
Yes.
But that was just the beginning of
their traumas
all over again.
Oh my God.
It was really, really sad. So this is another theme that is very, very, very important to discuss on. The theme of rape.
Yeah.
Not being raped by one person, but by two people. And
independent of your husband.
Doing nothing but staring, because there's nothing he could do. I know there are some men who would rather do everything and then end up dying.
Getting killed. He was even ready to do that, but they pinned him. He was literally pinned down, and I feel Ori was not calm on her husband. Because yes, she was traumatized. She had PTSD to the extent that if she was touched, she fidgeted at any little touch. But she should understand that the fact that the other was not showing the trauma or the emotional aspect, or the fact that the husband was not being emotional, does not mean that he was not traumatized too. Because how would you feel that your wife was being raped by armed robbers, two people right before you, your wife that is just at the verge of healing from her emotional trauma, and he could not do anything? The man must have felt like a failure. He was
trying to be strong for her, but deep down inside you could see that he was hurting.
Weak.
He was really weak. He was hurting. He was trying to be strong for her. Let's go to the hospital. She didn't go to the hospital.
Because
let's
of the
do
stigma.
this, let's do that. Yes, the stigma of being raped. So she couldn't even tell anybody. Imagine that is another battle. Keeping things like that to yourself. Eating you slowly, and all of a sudden, after waiting for 6 good years, you find out that you're pregnant.
Pregnant by two
after being
people.
raped by not one but two people. So you can imagine how she felt after waiting on God.
Like waiting on God.
And then you're begging God, God, please give me a child, and then God gives
the
you
child.
The
child did not come from
your
husband. Oh my God.
mean, the next thing was.
Like, I don't know. Sometimes believing in God is so challenging. Very challenging. Because I was the point I was like, God, waiting now.
What did we ask ourselves when we were watching it? That would you keep this baby? And I'm like, I don't know. Because I'm not in the situation. I can't tell. It's so easy to judge
when you're outside
when
of
you're not in the situation.
Yes.
But when you're in the situation, you have to. So I couldn't even answer. I mean, like.
Even till now, I don't even know if I would have kept the child.
What would you guys do if, God forbid, we don't pray that, but if that kind of situation happens, what would you guys do?
So let me break this situation down again, so that we would be expecting you to type in the comment section. You and your husband, not you directly.
Okay, hypothetically.
Yes, hypothetically. You and your husband have been waiting on God. You've done everything right. You've served God. You are just godly or Christ-like. You waited on God for 6 years for a baby, and eventually you got pregnant. But you got pregnant because armed robbers came to your house and raped you. Are you going to keep the baby, or are you going to terminate it? So let us know your opinion in the comment section. Let us know what you feel about this. So I feel that faith is evidence of things not seen truly, because you don't know what is going to happen. You are just believing. You're just believing. And being steadfast is not really it's not an easy thing. Like waiting on God, and you are waiting, and He keeps giving you His words, and
trials and
tribulation keeps coming,
and then you're still not saying
anything. You're not seeing the confirmation of His words. So I feel that
self-doubt comes in.
Yes.
You really believe, that's why it comes when do you really believe if God really loves you? I face that battle personally. Like I talk about it all the time. I think about it all the time. I'm still waiting on God, honestly. And everybody keeps telling you, just keep praying, just keep praying. And then it's hard to believe that God actually loves you or God has good plans for you because of all the things that are happening around.
Yeah, because you believe that there are some people who are God's favorite. Like I used to say that God definitely has some favorite. But at the end of the day, I feel that everyone's journey is different. And the movie Joba just shows us that love and sacrifice work hand in hand with faith. And God is never late. Yes, God has His ways of doing stuff, but He's never late. And to the utmost surprise, the child belonged to them. It's just because they did not calculate their.
No, you can't, because imagine waiting on God and
Yes.
then after rape that baby comes. You don't really expect
do any calculation. You're never excited
because
about it. But
another
listen.
thing is, after that she became suicidal. She attempted to kill herself, kill the baby.
And the husband supported.
I would rather die
than have
this thing growing in me. And you know, also another thing is acceptance.
Yes.
Even after she gave birth to the baby, she was uninterested. Imagine when she said, "This baby is not ours."
Okay, so another thing that I deduced from that particular scene was the fact that she's not a selfish person. Because there are women that will be like, I want a child,
I have
my child. It's my child. It will not be yours. Because it's not your semen that produced the child. But she was not selfish. That shows that they really genuinely love themselves. And I feel that whatever must have happened, even if at the end of the day that the child was not there, that was just God confirming that there will be children surrounding your table. I don't want to know how it's going to happen, but because at a point too, that child gave them joy. You know, the child filled the void in the home. So there's a way God answers this prayer. His ways and not our ways. Yeah.
So the take home of the movie is always, always, always believe that God's plan is the best.
Yes.
And be patient.
Yes, patience and love, commitment, they work hand in hand. Faith is not enough. Even if you have faith, you should be patient, you should love, you should come together, and you should never hide anything from your partner, even a dream. You should never hide anything from your partner. So thank you thank you again for watching.
Don't forget
to
answer in the comment section what you will do if hypothetically you were in that situation. So guys, if you are a fan of emotionally intense, faith-based movies,
I watch Joba. Even if you're not a fan, I think everyone should watch Joba to see how faith are tested and how you can overcome and eventually stay steadfast. So guys, watch Joba by Biodun Stephen on Biodun Stephen TV on YouTube.
Also don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.